Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And this video is about yesterday's press conference given by Mayor Tyre and our Commissioner of Public Works, Ricardo Morales, along with the proprietors of the Bird e-scooter rentals. So it was at Persit Park on North Street, and it was the official release, the official kickoff of the mayor's contract with this new company here. So let's just get right to the press conference, and we'll take it from there.
Have an official welcoming to the City of Pittsfield of the Bird Company. Lauren is here from Bird, and I'd like to introduce to you our two fleet managers, Tim and Jim. They're here today to answer any questions you might have about the work that they're doing as we launch the Bird scooters in the City of Pittsfield. We had a soft launch last week, and they're pretty popular. Yes, they're pretty popular. And I'm really excited that this new business has chosen our city as a place where we can have multiple modes of transportation. That is the real goal of what we're doing here in the City of Pittsfield, is creating multiple modes of transportation. Whether you're a pedestrian, or you're riding a bike, or you're on a scooter, or you're driving your car, we now have a way for people to move around our city in multiple ways. And I don't know about you, but every time I see someone on a scooter, or I see one of them parked, it makes me smile.
Well, now hang on a minute, because that's valuable information for me to know. Like, when I ran into the mayor and her husband during the pandemic at one of our local grocery stores, and they literally just come back into town from their vacation. And the mayor just ignored me. If I had had a scooter with me, that would have brought a smile to her face, and probably we would have been able to engage in conversation. So I'm going to keep that in mind, that scooters make Mayor Tyre smile. But all right, in all seriousness, let's get back to this.
Not only is this a way for people to move around the city, it's a way for people to enjoy the outdoors. It's a recreational amenity, but it's also a life amenity for many people who may not have access to a car, who need to get to the Big Y from downtown to do some shopping, put their groceries in a backpack, and scooter on back to their apartment here downtown.
Groceries in a backpack? You got to be a pretty physically fit person, unless you're buying like one meal at a time. But groceries in a backpack and scooter on back home. I'm sorry. All right, let's get back to it.
So there is so many ways that these scooters will be enjoyed by the people of our city. We are already have a huge amount of ridership just in the first week, and I'm sure Lauren will talk about that. But of course, the person responsible for all of these exciting changes to the City of Pittsfield is our Commissioner of Public Services, Ricardo Morales. It's his vision.
About his vision? God, it just sounds weird. It should be about our vision, I would think. It's her administration, but that's all right.
That's driving all of the work we're doing to create multiple modes of micro-mobility. That's the right phrase, right, Ricardo? All around the City of Pittsfield, and we're going to continue to grow and expand that infrastructure. So it isn't just about cars, it's about bikes and pedestrian safety, and now scooters. So Ricardo, tell us everything we need to know about your vision.
That though, so micro-mobility. Look, I could tell Ricardo Morales was a little irritated with me yesterday. We spoke, but he's still, and he's probably taking this personally. I want to talk about that at the end of this, but it's not. I have nothing against him personally. He seems like a very nice guy. But like I said in the last video, and I said that, many of you, I'm sure, just saw it yesterday or the day before, where I said his vision, his dream, his passion is in these bike lanes and scooters and, that whole concept. It's a passion for him. And that's why I said I could see him more in a role like that than as Commissioner of Public Works. And he probably didn't appreciate that. I guess you wouldn't, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get back to this. So, but I think it's funny though that Mayor Tyre has acknowledged this isn't her vision. This isn't something she's come up with. This is Ricardo's vision, and she's making that very clear. So, all right.
Expand our transportation system, our transportation network to include multiple modes of mobility, whether it's bicycles for people on wheelchairs or...
Bicycles for people on wheelchairs? I wonder if he means like I have seen those ones you pedal with your arms. This whole passion he has for micro-mobility I'm curious about it. Anyways, let's get back to this.
Expand our transportation system, our transportation network to include multiple modes of mobility, whether it's bicycles for people on wheelchairs or with mobility impediments, whether it's scooters or just walking. We want a city that is safe for all modes of transportation, and that means that we need to think about micromobility and how people move. Not only that, we are very excited to welcome essentially Bird is also, you can say it's also a tech company because they have vast amount of information that will be very specific to Pittsfield. We have access to that information now in terms of usage, ridership, where people move from and to, where trips originate, what times of the day, and that opens up a very important window.
So, yes, they're retaining data and they're sharing it with the city. But I guess the data they're retaining is where are these scooters being used, how they're being used. They say they can see it on a map. I was able to ask Commissioner Morales afterwards if he really truly believed that these would be used to commute rather than recreation. And he said yes, he didn't see these as a recreational thing. He saw this this is transportation for people that need it. And I find that odd. I could see, they're saying there was a lot of usage. I think there probably was a lot of younger people really curious because these things go pretty fast. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Do is go download the Bird app, which is available for free in the App Store and on Google Play Store. From there, you can see the real-time location of birds around the city, as well as the operating zones where you can and cannot ride and where you can and cannot park. And then you just scan and you get riding. We look forward to continuing the partnership with the city as more residents become familiar with this new transportation offering, and we are grateful, especially to Ricardo, for this partnership that we've built to bring scooters here to Pittsfield. Thank you again, and congratulations.
See, I don't think, again, nobody is against this. Not right now. Why would anyone be against it? They keep saying it's a private company. And I've seen on posts where some people say it's a private company. It has nothing to do with the city. That's not true. We're going to get to that part too. So anyways, this is the wrap up here where there was a few questions that people could ask. Unfortunately, the PA system breaks down, which in typical Pittsfield fashion. So they kind of had to yell out. I was able to ask a couple questions at the end, but for the most part, everything was covered. And now we just wait and see. So anyway, let's get back to these last few questions.
How far can these scooters travel?
The question is how far can the scooters travel, and that depends on the level of charge. If I say something that's incorrect in terms of the technicalities of the scooter, interrupt me please. But as much as I can answer that is it depends on the charge of the scooter, and this is just to say a scooter that's in I've noticed that a scooter that's in red, for example, the charge battery level, can still ride like 5 miles.
What about a full charge?
What is a full charge?
Yep. It's 35 miles on a full charge and 100% battery. 35 miles. Yes, so if something is somewhere.
So, yeah, recharge. So let me ask.
The PA broke, and that was it. They tried to fix it a couple times. I don't know what happened, but it made me chuckle a little bit. I'm a sound guy. They can do better than that. I'll offer my services next time.
Your question by saying that on my app I have a GPS, so I know where every scooter is at any given time. If some scooter is somewhere that's not supposed to be, I'll get an alert and I will go get it.
Okay, because I seen a post on Facebook in one of the groups, and the gentleman said that it showed up at the scrapyard. I believe it was about 3 days ago, and he turned the guy away and he explained what was going on with the scooters and what they were for. And I just didn't know if you guys are aware that they are showing up at the scrapyard now.
Now, someone asked a question. There was this young woman there who asked a question about these showing up at a scrapyard she saw on a Facebook post or something. I had never heard that before, but if you look at that, Mayor Tyre looks directly at me when she says on a Facebook page like I had something to do with that. I thought that was funny. But anyway, I thought that was funny.
Okay, because I seen a post on Facebook in one of the groups, and the gentleman said that it showed up at the scrapyard. I believe it was about 3 days ago, and he turned the guy away and he explained what was going on with the scooters and what they were for. And I just didn't know if you guys are aware that they are showing up at the scrapyard now.
Okay. I mean, we can look at that and see about geofencing, but normally I'll get a notification of outliers, so the farther away they go, the more I pay attention.
Okay. Thank you.
In terms of ridership, I know you mentioned that it's 350.
County, yesterday's 130 something. We had upwards of 900 rides in 7 days or 6 days since its launch. So this is, again, information that the city, has access to, that we can see. We have a map and see where people are moving to and from. Not specific to, these are heat maps. So we were able to use that information in many ways that we previously could not. And seeing this great number of riders, it's very, base fee is $1, 39 cents every minute. You get somewhere that you wanted to go, you stop the ride, park it, take a picture, it ends the charge. You don't get charged for the time you're at that place.
Okay.
You can immediately reserve it for free, I think up to 30 minutes. You can reserve up to 30 minutes for free if you don't want anyone else taking it while you're there. 15 minutes.
Okay.
That seems expensive. So it's $1 to activate it. The city is getting 15 cents off that dollar, and then it's 39 cents a minute after that. So it's not as cheap as some people thought. But anyway, the city does have a contract with them, and they are receiving money off it. 15 cents off the dollar, I believe is how he worded it, each ride, and there's a $1 ride fee.
The city is getting 15 cents per ride from this program. And the word responsible for has a lot of baggage. We want to be at the forefront of...
The word responsible for has a lot of baggage. It sounds like what he just said was, we want to be involved and have the profit with none of the responsibility if it goes wrong. I'm sorry to Commissioner Morales, but that's almost what it sounded like. Let's hope it doesn't go wrong. Anyway.
Getting the information out there, because we want this to be successful, of course, and we want people to have a good experience.
Sidewalk traffic, is that true?
Yes, we call that the furniture space
Okay.
in transportation lingo, and we wanted to stay there. When I say preferred parking area, is areas of the city that we'd like to be set aside for parking instead of parking wherever it's available to ride.
In terms of like the numbers of scooters, you mentioned there's about 20 on the street every day. Is there any room to expand that number if there's the demand?
We both have 61 scooters at this time right now, so it's 122 in our care, but you have to allow for ones that are charging, and then you also, there's some that, unfortunately, you might have some that get slightly damaged that we have to fix or something like that, so I don't know the specific numbers, but we've been given them.
What is that? What's the top speed of these? How fast do they go?
50. Oh, I'm sorry.
Some go 18 miles an hour, but some do less.
Is there any certain like safety regulations or?
So the speed is the top speed is 15. The scooters can go up to 18 themselves, but we have the city restricted to 15.
And are
15 miles an hour.
are the rules the same as like bicycle rules as far as riding?
Yes. Yes. Use the bike lane when there's one. Use the right side of the lane.
Is a helmet required or anything like
In
that?
Massachusetts, there's no helmet law for bicycles. It's even murkier for scooters. Bird does mention that you need a helmet, and that's a great question because it allows me to say that I already took advantage of this. You can get a helmet from Bird after you ride it at least once. You just pay the shipping. Am I right? You pay the shipping, you get a helmet. I did it a few months ago. I've been using Bird in other areas already, and so I had that ability to do it before they were here.
All right, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you being here today. We're really excited about this program.
Thank you.
And we're really pleased that people are using the Bird, and you're going to see them all over the city of Pittsfield. Enjoy this, have fun with it, and we hope it grows. Thank you.
So I was able to finally ask a couple questions at the end, and I basically just wanted to ask, I kind of already knew, but obviously for everyone, how fast do they go? And do they have to adhere to our bicycle rules? And of course, is that going to be enforced if someone sees one going, if someone's going 15 miles an hour down the sidewalk? Probably not, but maybe it should be enforced. But that was my question. Who's going to enforce that everyone's using these correctly? And I didn't know we didn't have a helmet law. I didn't realize that. I thought you had to. So apparently not. So you don't have to have a helmet, but there is a program where you can get one for free as a user. So that's cool. So that was that. I had a great chance to talk to Ricardo in depth at the end. And I mentioned, here's the thing. He thought I was some anti-bicycle person. I told him I just ordered a new e-bike, and we talked about that. And he was like, let me see it. I said, I just ordered it. It hasn't gotten here yet. But he was under the impression that I was some anti-everything. And, obviously he hasn't watched these. He probably never watches these. Just once in a while someone probably mentions to him, hey, that guy that you don't like on who has the Facebook YouTube show talked about you again. It's probably something like that. So anyway, I'm not anti any of that. I explained to him even some of the ideas I would like to see on North Street, cafe style seating on the sidewalks and things like that. But that prime real estate, for bicycle lanes, I'm just one of the people who are against that. I mean, we have such a small downtown. If you were to put that bicycle lane over onto First Street and have it connect that way to everything else, I would be more apt to go along with that layout. But anyway, we ended up talking a little bit. He was very nice. And I think a lot of the beef that some people have, and some of my complaint is, we put so much attention on projects and programs like these when our infrastructure is in really rough shape right now, and that's not exaggerating. I spoke to a couple counselors there, and one of them, it was off the record, so I won't say anyone's name, but we talked about it, and that counselor agreed, this is the worst in their lifetime that they have ever seen our roads. I agree with that. I'm 50 years old. It's the worst I've ever seen our roads, ever. So I think that's where a lot of people are upset. And a lot of people are saying, where's all this marijuana money? What happened to pot for potholes? So anyway, that's it with the e-scooters. We'll see how this plays out. And I'll have another video up tomorrow. So everyone, stay safe, take care of yourself, pay attention, watch out for those scooters, and check it out if you want to use one. And if you use it once, you can get your free helmet. So, all right, everyone take care of each other. Look out for each other, because that's all we got here in the community. And I'll catch you all tomorrow.